There's a coffee table in the living room. That's as good a place as any. And the kitchen's right there. I'll just rinse my hands off a bit. Making a liberal use of the dish soap, I start scrubbing my hands thoroughly. While I feel the stickiness start to unstick itself, I look out the window. Damien's parents seem to be focused on Vinny, but Damien is still shooting looks to the left. The hyperactive hybrid shoots up from his seat, disappearing from view. I wonder where he... Whoa! Splish. Dang, clothes still on and all. Kid was serious about washing hands in the pool. Man, I could have gone for a dip myself. The AC in here makes a huge difference. Must be 90 degrees out today. There's plenty of soda, so I'm not in danger of dehydration at least. But geez, I'm only noticing just how warm I still am from stepping inside. I'm surprised there's no steam rising from me. Looks a little red, too. Good thing I didn't bring any sunscreen. Crap. It's not that bad yet. Maybe the Pains have some sunscreen around? No, they're reptiles. They wouldn't have any. Maybe I'll just have to deal with it. My knuckles start hurting from being wrung so much. The smell isn't gone yet, though. Anyway, should be clean enough, too. Both of us are frozen still, locked in a staring contest. The steak shoved in her mouth. She stares like a deer caught in the headlights. She spits the steak back onto the plate in her lap and grips the insides of her sleeves. It takes me a moment to collect myself to muster up some conversation. Yeah, your delivery came in. You want a soda with that? The joke goes unlaughed at. I tried. May as well. Need to get to the fridge. Oh, sorry? I step to the side to give Olivia enough space. She rolls herself over to the fridge, opens it up, and rummages through. We exchange a few awkward glances to the point that it's palpable in the air. So, what are you doing? Getting a soda? The kid's taking your spot in the swimming pool. That's fine. I'm gonna go crash in my room. When there's still a party going on outside? I'm busy with art stuff. Stuffing the soda can into her coat pocket, Olivia redirects herself and with a flick of her tail closes the fridge shut. But what about the party? What about it? It's still going on. And, look, I've got stuff to work on. Even though it's a holiday, it seems like the perfect time to get together with friends and family, and I'm not their family, if you haven't noticed. And I'm not gonna be here for much longer. That's a new look from her. Was it because of what I said? Olivia? What? There's a couple different things dancing atop my tongue that I wish to say. Some would be too intrusive, especially after what she just said. One, however, sticks out the most, especially after she had brought up working on it. And I genuinely want to see Olivia's process. Would you, mind some company? What? Seems pretty empty in the house to be by your lonesome, and maybe it'd be nice to hang out? Especially as I recall her freshman piece that's displayed right next to the principal's office. I'll even show you some of my stuff. I have my portfolio drive in my backpack, after all. I have to hold back my laugh as a silly strangled noise of surprised confusion escapes her mouth. Is that an okay, then? No, it's just... I don't want anyone else in my room. Then how about the living room? I motion at the well-loved couch nearby. She hums in thought for a moment. Are you really that interested? I've been wanting to see your work ever since I found out that the cityscape piece in the gala was yours. Olivia clutches her hands together tightly. Okay, fine. If you're so interested, you can watch. She wheels herself back towards a shut door. Need to get my stuff set up first, though. Sure, I'll be here, on the couch. I kind of feel bad for missing out on the party, too, but I doubt I'll ever get another chance like this. Olivia returns with a small easel, already set up with a half-finished painting. She takes a moment to shift herself from her wheelchair to the end of the couch right next to me. She's pretty close to me. I can feel her thigh barely brush against mine, but I try to pay it no mind. The painting looks like a bust of a nondescript dino guy. Although with how vibrant these guys are, it could easily be a portrait of someone specific. This isn't that good. She rips the page off and crumples it in her hands. Starting over, then? Don't interrupt. She takes a deep breath. The paintbrush nears the canvas, slowly and gracefully, although it's clear her nerves are getting to her. Okay... Wait. Olivia looks down for a moment before she jerks her head back up, her face gaining a reddish hue. Dude, why'd you scooch so close to me? I didn't? You're the one who sat next to me. Oh. She looks away for a moment, realizing how over the top her reaction was. Olivia then does a double take at me, her brows furrowing. What's wrong with your skin? I was born like this. Shut up, that's not... You know what? Yes, it is. But I mean, it's red. Oh, yeah, I think I'm sunburnt. As I look over the red splotch on my arm, Olivia raises a hand and touches it. Ow! Why? Jeez, that really hurts? Yeah, it does. I didn't think to get sunscreen on the way over. There wouldn't happen to be any here, right? Point taken. But... there's some of those spiky plants outside. Aloe something, I think. Just snap a leaf off. Mrs. Payne won't care. Probably. She almost called her mom. I think I've heard something about that plant before, yeah. Alright, I guess I'll give it a shot. I get up and head back out the front door. Lo and behold, there were in fact a number of those spiky plants around. I walk up to the nearest one and carefully grab the leaf in a spot with dull spikes. It bends and snaps off pretty easily. Man, this looks good enough to eat, but it probably tastes awful. Is it really good for curing sunburnt skin? Back inside, Olivia started painting again. She gazes intently at the page. And the plate of food that I had brought in has been cleaned. Olivia holds one last rib in her mouth like a cigarette. It waggles up and down between her teeth. When she sees me, she crunches the bone in two and swallows the last of it whole. I bring up the aloe leaf. This it? She nods and extends a hand to grab it. I hand her the thick leaf, and she extends a single claw. Once she catches the edge of the skin, she makes quick work of peeling the husk off. You do that often? Not me. Sophia uses it a lot to make smoothies for the family and healing salves for Vinny. They're real pretty, too. Olivia blinks, coughs, and grimaces. To, paint, I mean. Natural homemade healing recipe, huh? Gonna have to ask for that later. Could come in handy down the line. I move to remove my jacket so the aloe can be applied properly. But I don't get far before I notice Olivia's face turning a darker shade again. No. No need to remove your jacket. Just roll up your sleeves and put the jelly on your neck. She hands me the now exposed aloe jelly, all the while doing her best not to lock eyes with me. After rolling up my sleeves, I scoop out a dollop of the opaque substance. The feeling of relief hits me the moment I spread it across my neck. Man, this feels good. I start applying more to my nose, cheeks, and most importantly, the top of my head. As I do, I watch Olivia continue her painting, taking extra attention to her brush strokes. The way she moves it down the canvas with such smoothness and gentleness shows her level of concentration. Not too rushed, but also not that overly focused on the art either. Using the last of the aloe to cover my arms, I'm fully covered in the rudimentary remedy. I take a second to throw the husks away in the kitchen trash, catching a glimpse of the party outside. Everyone looks like they're having a good time out there, except for Mrs. Sophia, who's currently trying to chase a very soaked Vinny with a towel. Back on the couch, Olivia's painting is starting to take a more defined shape. Unlike the cityscape piece, however, it looks more organic. She continues to paint in silence, occasionally doing a quick glance at me to see if I'm still watching. I don't want to poke at Olivia for no real reason, but this might just be my only chance to ask. Hey, Olivia? Your family, the Paynes, they seem like a lively bunch. What's that supposed to mean? Like, I knew Damien was eccentric, but I can see that he gets it from the rest of your family. First of all, the Paynes are my godparents. Secondly, yeah, they are. So, how long have you known them for? Olivia pauses for a moment mid-brushstroke, but then continues. Practically my whole life. Damien and I have known each other since we were carpet crocs. And his parents have known my dad since, well, forever, since before we were even neighbors. Oh, friends of the family? Pretty much. Whole reason why I'm living with them. Her muzzle clamps shut. Forget what I just said. The words were spoken with a tone tinged bitter with something. A tone I felt very familiar with whenever my own family is brought up. Sure. The only sounds left now are her brushstrokes on the canvas. My focus turns back to the patch of blotchy red and pale acrylic oil slowly forming across the white expanse. Occasionally, Olivia's gray eyes would glance my way before going back to her work. Compared to the more rapid pace of time-lapse art videos I had viewed, she was more deliberate with each of her movements. Pretty obvious since most of those were done digitally, another thing I'd not considered. Still staring at the painting in progress itself, there's something uncanny about it. It's now more formed, definitely looking like something. Cupping my chin with one hand in contemplation, I use the other to try and trace out the peachy pale and vibrant red colors. Olivia looks back to me again, and a glint of something shines through her eyes. Hold that pose now. Hey, how long have you been using me as a layman doll? Her hand fails to cover up the snort that comes from her nose, followed by a gremlin-like cackle. Consider it the price to see my process. I want a refund. Nope. Looking again, it's slowly becoming an oil bust of my burnt face. Like looking in a mirror, huh? Can't you at least get my good angle? Nope. Turning back to the mural de melanoma, Olivia starts adding a blotch of cream by my head. A sigh escapes my lips. Hey, I said stay still. Why? And I'm not that red. Another high-pitched giggle comes out of Olivia. It's called artistic license. Well, it needs to be renewed. Despite being the butt of her joke, I feel myself smiling. Must be the new sounds from her. It's the first time I think I've seen her happy outside of a Yatakan's class. And yeah, that laugh of hers is kind of infectious. The silence returns, though, and the mood feels much lighter now. I feel so stiff right now. I don't know how long I've been holding this pose now. If I had to guess from the sunlight filtering into the house, it's at least been an hour. Mural de melanoma was almost done, and it was staring back at me with the most intense eyes. Olivia's attention was left on one final detail. The hand holding my chin. I'm thankful that she'd finished the sunglasses first, because the reflected light from the sliding back door had been searing my retina. Olivia, hush. She turns her head and focuses entirely on the hand held by my ear. Pupils moving rapidly to try and take in every last detail. Her fingers twitch as her hand hovers over the painted hand. Her eyes are now shifting between my hand and my eyes. Her hand is now quaking, and a growing redness suffused her face. The more she looks toward my eyes, the more her arm shakes and her face brightens. Finally, she turns away from me entirely, bringing both of her arms with her and away from me and the canvas. Okay. Oh, okay? Her cheeks puff out as she exhales her held breath. Okay. Finally, she turns her cherry-red face to the canvas and inspects the near-complete portrait. I'll come back to this later. Can I... Yeah, you can drop your hand now. Finally. I lay back on the couch, feeling my spinal cord pop in rapid succession. I said your hand. Can't. I attempt to stretch my arm in front of me, and because of my stiffened muscles, my forearm is pulled back towards my face. I repeat the motion several times, the movement helping to ease the muscle until finally my arm doesn't feel spring-loaded. While I was busy trying to fix my arm, Olivia was packing up the canvas. That's about it. You can go join the others or whatever. She drags the canvas easel and acrylic tubes back to her room. I wonder if she'll keep that one. And I wonder if she'll stay in her room again. We've been inside for a while. I don't think anyone outside has noticed we've been gone. Vinny and Damien seem to accept that Olivia would stay inside, but... Wait. I've caught her a bit off guard. Invite Olivia to join you back outside, or convince her why her family needs her out there. Oh, man. Okay, saving this one. Convince her why her family needs her out there? Maybe it wouldn't hurt if you took a break and went outside just for a few minutes. I mean, it could help you decompress. If this is you trying to get me to join the party, it isn't working. I don't mean it like that. What? Look, Inco, Mr. and Mrs. Payne already have Damien and Vinny to handle. Meanwhile, I'm just extra weight for them to carry. That seems a bit harsh. And it's like I said, soon enough I'll be out of the house and out of their hair. Most I can do for them at this point is not be in the way. And it was every argument she had. They're the kind of arguments that come from desperation and guilt to convince herself it's for the good of everybody. But doesn't she see that pushing them away just makes it worse? They willingly have her here because they love her, and yet she tries to remove herself. Anyone would be lucky to come home to a family like this, and no amount of wealth could substitute the kind of emotional support they offer her. They're doing their best to take care of you, Olivia. Damien's always by your side, Vinny seems like a nice little brother, and both Mr. and Mrs. Payne have your best interests at heart. She's not making eye contact anymore, but she's listening intently. This is all stuff she's known already. Wouldn't you want to reciprocate their affection? It's the least you could do. What the hell are you telling me about my own family and friends like you know better? With nothing else to say, I make my way towards the sliding door. At least I tried. Wait. Huh? I'll go. Really? Thought about it, and you're right. If it'll make him happy, I guess I'll try. There's a twinge of shame in her voice, but that's to be expected after an internal struggle. I'm glad you came around. The back door squeaks back open. Even with sunglasses, I wince at the sudden brightness. I take a step out and stretch my back, working out the last bit of stiffness from my shoulders. Olivia still waits at the threshold of the door. What are you waiting for, a curtain call? With a grin, I draw the sliding door even wider, and with a beckoning wave, attempt to usher Olivia out as if I were her personal attendant. Cut that out, don't make it weird. Despite her words, her tone is more humored than annoyed with me. Relax, nobody was even looking. But it looks like there's definitely no more food left. About right. As Olivia rolls down a small wooden ramp I hadn't noticed, we catch Damien on the bottom step. Olivia? At the table, heads turn towards us. Looks of surprise etch on the faces of most of them. Instead of answering him verbally, Olivia's hand comes up in a nervous wave. The rest of the party resumes their prior discussions, although maybe a bit livelier than before. Hey, cool to see you out here again. Hey, Damien, why are you all the way over here for? I can't stand to be by Liz's uncle when he's eating. He's got those fibrous teeth. Ugh. Like blue whales have? Yeah, freaks me out. His dentist must make a fortune. Yeah. Hey, Olivia, what are you doing back out here? You forget something? No, I just thought it'd be good to enjoy the weather while it lasts. Damien perks up, with his frills undulating. No, Damien, stop that. Olivia quivers as Damien's grin grows wider, and his frills start moving faster. Ew, stop it. Even I'm getting unnerved by how those things move. Damien! Sorry, you know these things got a mind of their own. Finally, those weird flaps still. Dude, you were just complaining about Mr. Ferris and his teeth. At least he can keep his mouth shut. Hey, I could always wear a beanie. Oh, you can't. Remember the last time you tried? Both Damien and Olivia share a laugh over some event that they're privy to. When they finish, Damien asks the million-dollar question. So, are you gonna join in, or...? She turns her head my way, and I give her a supportive thumbs up. Yeah. Damien finally stands from the step, and we all start heading for the table. Each partygoer greets us when we approach. The loudest from... Livy! Hey. You finally came to play again. The rambunctious boy hoots and hollers as he bounces in circles around her. Olivia huddles her arms and looks aside in my direction, feeling the stares from the table. I give her a reassuring thumbs up. Actually, this is perfect. Thank you, Vinny. This is something that Olivia is able to give when she was so worried about just taking. I hope she goes for it. I'm a little tired, Vinny. What? No, come on, Livy. You promised we'd play today. Like old times. Please? Oh, alright, you win. I did promise. You want to play cannon, then? Yeah, cannon! Alright then, ready? Round loaded! Fire! Oh god, this was a bad idea. Randy? Relax, Soph. Vinny's still young. Michael, Vinny, be careful! I'm okay, Mom. Whew, have you gotten stronger, Olivia? No, shut up. Anyway, can we do it again, Livy? Olivia smiles and pats his head. It's weird seeing it, but as she readies Vincent for another launch, the Gator girl has a bright, toothy smile I never thought she had. Mr. Payne. Ooh. Alright, I get it. Vincent! Yeah, Dad? No more cannon today. Olivia and Vincent share a disappointed look. Now, there's a lot more things you two can do. Vincent perks up and immediately rushes off. Oh, I know. Olivia turns back to the rest of the group with an uneasy smile. Miss Payne steps forward, her hands held up and wavering. Olivia. Hi, Auntie. Miss Payne and her husband approach, both with nervous smiles. When she speaks, it's with a certain restraint, holding her excitement back, as though worried if it showed too much, she'll change her mind and go back in. I didn't miss much, right? I'm so glad you came out, dear. The older woman kneels in front of her and wraps her arms around Olivia. Hey, it's been too long, little ace. Randy's hand ruffles her hair, while his other arm also encircles both Olivia and Sophia, and while Olivia does her best to avoid his palm. I can see the tiny smile on her face. Time seemed to pick up speed after Olivia had come out. Damien and his father returned to the grill, managing to prep and cook a final serving of meaty goodness for an early dinner. I decided I could go for seconds and get a few scraps of this and that. I nearly drop my food when I get a rough pat on the shoulder from behind. It's Mr. Payne. He looks down at me with a thankful smile. Mrs. Payne and Mr. Ferris had continued their conversation until Mr. Ferris's throat ran dry. I know how he feels. And the rest of us had to contend with a hyperactive child with an armory of foam dart guns. I feel bad for Liz. She'd become a one-woman shooting gallery for the boy. And Olivia. And me. And Damien, but at least he looked apologetic about it. But now things are winding down. The food is officially all gone. Everyone is exhausted, physically and mentally, and yet thoroughly satisfied emotionally. Olivia pads by me, having returned to the pool to cool down and stretch out. There was just one last thing to really cap this off. Okay, everyone. I hollered to everyone currently on the deck, grouped up nicely for me. Looking through the viewfinder of my propped-up camera, I adjust the focus to ensure that everyone is captured perfectly in the shot. Alright, on 3, give me your biggest smiles. 1... Wait! Olivia turns away from the camera, looking towards Damien. With a grin, Damien waves for me. Dude, you gotta be in this too! There's nods and words of agreement from everyone. Well, it's been a while since I've used this mode, so why not? Setting the time delay along with the sports mode, I'm sure with 10 rapid succession shots, at least one of them will be perfect. And I can always do some post-production on it, too. Ensuring that the focus is still fine, I check the shutter button and keep the count in mind. 30, 29, 28... By 13, I've settled myself next to Damien and above Olivia. Alright, 9, 8, 7. I feel something wrap around my ankle and press against my back on 4. 3, 2, 1... Ah! My camera flash goes off 10 times as I'm pushed over by Damien and pulled into the pool by Olivia.